Hello and welcome to this football video log. I want to go over this very quickly because this is the second time I've tried to done this video, and I was 80% through it last time and 22 minutes through. I don't want to make it that long. So let's get started right now. National championship game. I have not seen either one of these two teams play. It's LSU against Alabama. The spread is 2.5 for Alabama with an over-under of 40. And I like LSU plus the 2.5. Buy the hook up to 3 if you can. Although college football, just play the money line. Either play the money line or play plus 3. And do that with the over of 40. And I'm only doing this by looking at box scores. And I'm very good at looking at box scores and analyzing them, trying to find the best information. What I found within this particular contest is that LSU looks like they're running a quarterback by committee there. They don't pass for that many yards, but they can run the ball effectively, and it seems their defense is extremely well at forcing turnovers and even scoring the ball themselves. And on many occasions, they've passed for not only under 200 yards, but under 130, 140, and still managed to score 30, 40 points. Yeah, I know a lot of those games are teams like Western Kentucky or whatever, but this previous game was like 6-3 or 9-6 for Alabama, so that's one reason why I think the over-under is just way too low. I know it's a great defensive battle, and the offense of LSU is not the strongest, but I'm not going to play it in that format alone. Let's now move on to the National Football League with the Denver Broncos defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I want to talk about the last touchdown and why that was such an amazing play. And Tim Tebow this game completed 10 passes for about 300 yards, which means about 30-yard average. He had no choice but to throw the ball deep because Pittsburgh was putting 8-9 guys in the box, which said, hey, we're going to stop you in the running game. We're not going to let you play the short screen games because we're going to put all these guys in the box, and you're going to have to beat us deep. Oh, really? Okay, so we'll do that. Now, I'm still on the same vote as far as Tim Tebow on 3rd and long, although I still think he can make plays. And maybe he can become that great quarterback on those passing situations when they know they're going to pass. But on first and 10, that wasn't the situation. The best time to play fake a deep ball is 1st down and 10 or even like a 4th and 1 because they totally don't expect it. You set up the run so that you can make these kind of play fakes, and that's exactly what the first play of the overtime was. It was a play fake to Willis McGahee, which was enough to get their strong safety to bulge and get out of the play. Once that's the case, it was up to Tim Tebow to make an accurate throw to Demaryius Thomas, which was the case. Then it was up for Demaryius Thomas to make a play himself. He made a huge stiff arm and then was able to create separation from the only defender that he was facing, and then GG, game over, bye-bye, Broncos win. Now, the New England Patriots are their next opponent. The spread comes out at 13.5, which is about a point from what I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be about 14.5. I'm going to most likely be playing Denver plus the points and the over. As each win goes through for the Denver Broncos in these playoffs, I'm going to be believing this instinctive thought more than more. And when you have a situation as a human being where you're doing something totally non-related, all of a sudden these messages you couldn't expect pretty much come from yourself, I'm at the point where I need scientific reasoning for how this works and why this works. That's about it. But for now, I got to document it and see how it does, because they beat Pittsburgh. They're playing New England. The whole rock, paper, scissors says to play the Broncos, but that's 0-2 this year, just to let you know on that, as Broncos lost to New England and New England lost to Indianapolis. The rock, paper, scissors is to play New England over Indy, play Indy over Denver, and Denver over New England against the spread. And that's all football is. It's rock, paper, scissors. Because any play or any strategy one makes, there's a counter to every play. So the counter, of course, to putting guys in the box is to throw the ball deep. Now, Bill Belichick is a great game prepper, and I find it interesting how he signed Josh McDaniels to an assistant head coach who was the former Broncos coach, and the one who drafted those amazing 5 offensive players last year that all started this week, although Eric Decker's one of them. I haven't seen the MRI test. He's probably, if not out this week, he's probably out for the rest of the season. So I think that's what Bill Belichick's going to do. So I think what he's probably going to do is still contain guys up in the front area to ensure that it's going to be difficult on the short game. but protect themselves deep, which means the middle of the field is where it's going to be exploited. That's 12, 15, 17 yards down the field. The next game, and I'll talk more about these games throughout the week, so I want to go through them really quickly. The next AFC battle is between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's favored by 9. I thought the spread should have been closer to 14. And I'm going to be laying the points of Baltimore. A lot of the times I play the home teams in the second round of the playoffs, not as much as I used to, because of the simple fact that, home teams got the bye week. They got 2 weeks to prepare for one game, where the other team has to play the last week. They had 2 weeks to prepare for 2 different opponents, 2 different games, and it's a huge advantage to be on the home field. Since this format of playoffs has begun, the home team has covered, I think, 55% of the time, 54, 55, and they've won outright about 80% of the time. The next matchup is going to be between the Green Bay Packers hosting the New York Football Giants. I thought the spread of this game would have been around 13 and a half, but it's actually 9 as well. I'll be playing the Green Bay Packers most likely. Same old reasons, and the next NFC game is between San Francisco and the New Orleans Saints. I'm predicting the Super Bowl is now going to be Denver and New Orleans. And the final of that game would be something like 55-3 for New Orleans. But within this game, I guess the only way I would take San Francisco, who the spread's 3.5, is if I thought that San Francisco would lose by 3 or 1 or something. And I don't. I'm probably going to play New Orleans on the spread, which is actually going to be the second pick of the second methodology that I talked about last week. Methodology for the first game was to play the Giants as a winner of 31-7. And as I was watching that game with the score 24-2 and the Giants moving the ball, I'm thinking, this is just going to be too sick, because if they score, that'll be 31, which is the exact number I was kind of predicting they were going to score. Well, a 7 and a 2... A 7 looks like that, a 2 looks like that. So a 7 and a 2, as far as the look, is exactly the same. So that was kind of freaking me out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the video last week about changing methodology. So this week, the score would be New Orleans 38 and the San Francisco 49ers 20, which means playing New Orleans plus the points as well. Excuse me, New Orleans minus the points as well as the over. I'll do some more videos later this week, and have yourself a great week.